Welcome to Slow Living Diaries. This is a safe space filled with quiet moments, calm vibes, and meaningful reflections from the pages of my books and the energy that I get from people just like you. For the next 10 minutes or so, I'd like you to turn off the world, relax, be still, and unwind. You can light a candle, sip some tea, or pour yourself a nice glass of wine as we embark on this journey of healing, self-love, and slow living together. If you are ready to live more intentionally and calmly, please subscribe and become a part of our slow living community. And don't just keep it to yourself. If you can think of someone who needs to see, feel, or hear this, please do share it with them. With love, let's begin. And there is a story that no one speaks about, maybe even you. It's the story of your life, a story that you didn't ask to carry, written in what seems to be permanent ink on pages with creased edges. Some of these pages bring about smiles, while others cause paper cuts in what seems as though they were chapters only destined for your fingerprints. Some bring back memories of joy, while others linger in the shadows of your mind, pulling you back to places you fought so hard to leave. Scars. But through it all, somehow you are still here. Despite it all, despite the weight of what has been done, what's been lost, what they did to you, what's been broken, you are still here. You survived. But survival, that's not it. I know that's not the whole story, not the end of it. Because if you are listening to this, it means that somewhere inside of you there's a flicker. Maybe it doesn't feel like hope, not yet. Maybe it's just curiosity or stubbornness or a refusal to let this be the last chapter. Maybe it's your younger self who was so resilient, so energetic, so good at moving on, whispering, "This is not how your story ends." And that's enough. Even a flicker can light the way. I reminded you of that in the chapter Lanterns and Fireflies. Actually, let me read a bit of it to you. A difficult balance between opening yourself up for healing and denial just to make it through another day. You navigate yourself through the dark, finding solace for your shadows while trying to be a light in your own tunnel. You open up a tiny crack in your heart and quite bravely find the courage to be honest about how you feel, knowing that perhaps you don't have to carry it alone. But sadly, the muted cries have you head back into the "I'm fine" zone while you dance the line of your feelings, accepting and denying them all at once. Invisible to many, yet experiencing it all, hiding within the darkness of your soul, leaving tiny lanterns in every corner. Courage. I digress. These chapters in your story are here to remind you that you are not what happened to you. You are not the shattered pieces of your crown when it falls, nor a failure because of what you have endured. You are so much more than what you have lost. You are what still remains. Yes, there may have been a version of you that could shake the pain. Perhaps you didn't get so overwhelmed so easily before. Maybe life has exhausted you in ways that you could push through before, but you just don't have the energy to now. But don't be so hard on yourself. It takes courage, and I see that you have it. The quiet strength that gets you out of bed on the hardest days. The fierce love that still chooses to believe that what's meant for you will not pass you by. And maybe your heart has been broken too many times and the trauma is so layered that you don't know where to begin your healing journey. But I encourage you to take your time. There's no rush to heal, no deadline to find your way out of this. Trauma doesn't unravel overnight. It's messy, it loops back, it tangles, and that's okay. You are not broken because it takes time. Healing is slow. And I know it's hard. Some days it feels impossible. Some days the darkness wraps itself around you, presses down on your chest until you feel like you cannot breathe. I know. It's hard to breathe sometimes when the atmosphere feels like an ocean. But even in that darkness, There's a spark in you that refuses to give in. It's there in the way that you listen to this, in the way that you're searching for something, anything to hold on to. That spark is your proof. You've already survived the worst. The proof, you're still standing, even if it feels like you are falling and crumbling. And for every time you've thought, I can't do this, you did. Every single time you did. Now I'm the last person to sit here and tell you to be strong. You don't need to be strong. You've been strong long enough. Maybe today is the day you let yourself rest. Cry if you need to, scream if you must, or sit in silence, feeling it all, letting it wash over you like the waves that eventually recede. Healing isn't about erasing, ignoring, pushing through, or distracting yourself from the pain. It's about learning to carry it differently, learning that it doesn't own you, that it doesn't define you, and while it feels huge and all that exists, it's about remembering that it's smaller than you. So today, let the world move slower for you. Notice the way the breeze brushes against your skin, how the trees sway from side to side, unbothered by the storms they've weathered. The world keeps turning, but it's okay for you to stand still. Stillness isn't a failure, it's grace, and you deserve to offer yourself grace today. And when you are ready, when your body says yes in its own quiet way, you'll start again. Not because anyone else says you should, but because you'll feel it. You'll be so grounded and connected to yourself that you will just know a small gentle urge to take one step and then another. You won't always feel like this. The heaviness won't always consume you. One day the sun will rise and you will feel it on your skin again. Not just see it, but feel it. And you'll realize that the ache is softer now, that your scars are a part of you, but they no longer rule you. And this is the beauty of allowing yourself to feel. The same courage that it takes to feel the pain is the same beauty that you will feel on the other side. So to you, the one watching and listening right now, to the one with a story too heavy to tell, to the one who feels invisible beneath their pain, to the ones who wonder if it's even worth trying one more time, if this new year will bring anything different than the looping plot that your story has been so far. You are still here, and that's enough. It's more than enough. Though the shadows in your room press heavy and the walls feel closer than they did yesterday, I promise you there is space for you in this world. I know it's hard to believe when silence roars louder than hope, when your heart feels abandoned and not treated with care and sensitivity. But you are not alone. This is a shared experience. Even when your reflection feels like a stranger, when your voice cracks under the weight of unspoken pain, you are still here, still real, and still worthy of the love that this life owes to you. Let me tell you something about the storms. They are loud, yes, relentless, unyielding, chaotic, but they do not last forever. And whatever you're going through right now won't last forever. There is a quiet after every moment of turbulence, and someone who hasn't met you yet is waiting for the way your story will touch their lives. They're out there, in the same world, looking at the same moon where oceans kiss shores, where the trees keep growing even after they've been scarred, where even the smallest seeds bloom again, waiting for some evidence of hope, of things turning around. You are their sign. You are their wonder. So tonight, when your pillow feels too heavy and the darkness leans too close, know this: there is a love greater than the ache you carry. There is a future kinder than the past you've endured, and there is a sky above you that refuses to fall. Your prayers have been heard. You are not alone, not now, not ever. You are seen, you are loved, you are not alone.